Ref, I want to kind of take you back to the days when we was in elementary school, when you learned something, you be so excited to get home and tell your parents you just was so excited that you learned about it. Well, guess what? I was today years old when I found out that Susan B. Anthony was 6'4".
Got a ring though.
Bet she do, but she ain't got that suit. Y'all tune into it. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Ay, fantasma,
And thank y'all for tuning into episode 7 of Beauty in the Ref. I'm your host, Nkechi, and this is my co host, Darren. If this is your first time watching us, go ahead and like and click and hit the subscribe button. However, if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support and viewership. We greatly appreciate it. So, today, we're going to dedicate today's episode to the GOAT. This ain't up for debate. We're going to dedicate it to the GOAT, Kobe Bean Bryant, because it's what, Dan, what today is?
His birthday. We gonna celebrate, y'all. It's his birthday, y'all.
Your birthday. Go, Kobe. It's your birthday. Go, Kobe. It's your birthday. We gonna party like it's your birthday. Let me tell you something. I miss him. I miss him because, as we all know, January 26, 2020 was a horrific day for everyone. I never ever thought that I would have to really just mourn the loss of one of my favorite basketball players so soon. The whole reason why I picked up a ball, the reason why I really fell in love with basketball and really and truly fell in love with the Lakers because Showtime was gone by the time we was able to walk. So they was really, what I'm saying.
Right.
And really and truly, like people talk about Jordan, but like I tell people, Jordan was in his career before I was pretty much born. You know what I'm saying? He won his first couple rings when I was just starting to learn how to walk. Kobe was actually that player that when he got into the league, I grew up with Kobe. You know what I'm saying? He was the player that I was able to watch and see him, go from a rookie to a superstar. I was able to witness that. That's why I love Kobe. That's why he's the person who made me fall in love, really, really and truly fall in love with basketball. Like, child, if you knew me back in high school or whenever, if I had a piece of napkin or something, as soon as I shot, guess what I said?
Oh,
And I know every time I do something, Kobe was never Mike. It was always Kobe. So yeah, I don't want to get into it, but what you got to say, D?
I love Kobe being from LA, Pasadena. I just remember like the good times, like when we were winning the back to back, the 3P. Like the family was close, the family was together, and I just remember that live Kobe threw to Shaq over the Trailblazers, the shot Ori hit. Like Kobe and the Lakers brought our family together, and I miss Kobe. Shoot, he was one of my favorite players too. I remember me and my cousin we used to. One day I wear my Kobe's, he'll wear his Iversons. I'll be Kobe, he'll be Iverson. We'll switch the next day. So, I mean, we all miss him. We praying for uh, Vanessa and the family and the girls, especially today. But he lives on in a lot of players. He touched a lot of players. Booker, Isaiah Thomas. There's a lot of people who idolize Kobe, especially in NBA. So I'm just glad to see what Kobe did on the NBA and on the WNBA side. The players living vicariously through Kobe. Kobe's still with us.
Right. On top of that, I want to add this right in right quick. So, of the 5 rings Kobe has, which was your favorite series? Was it Indiana? Was it Philadelphia? I know you're not gonna say because New Jersey was a sweep. Like Jersey, that was just like give it to us. You know what I'm saying? Or was it Orlando or Boston? What was your favorite series?
That's a hard one. It'll probably either be Boston because I mean it's the Celtics. We hate it. We had to get our rings.
Right.
But when him and Iverson, even though it wasn't like as close as it could have been, just to see Kobe and Iverson go at it back to back, like they was throwing up buckets and then T. Lue getting stepped over. Like that look. I guess that was a good one because I knew we were gonna win at the end of the day. But it's always good to be Boston.
I like the Indiana one because that was his first ring, but on top of that, it was like him and the Indiana one was based like Reggie. Remember Reggie Miller was oh my god, like Reggie Miller was like, huh?
It was like Kobe ended my career. The only chance I had, Kobe came like now. It's my
Remember,
turn now.
I remember when Reggie hit that shot with that one bad ankle.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, yeah, but I think 99, yeah, 99, 2000, well, yeah, 99, 2000, that was mine because that was the first one. And that was Y2K. So, you know, we was the first team to win the title in the new millennium. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, we miss you, Kobe. We miss you. We miss you. We miss you. So then, with that being said, you know, we normally always give our flowers to the pioneers, those who pioneered the WNBA. So, who are you honoring?
So this week, I want to honor the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductees. It's specifically Tamika Catchings, you know, the great Tamika Catchings, the Lady
Eh,
Ball, Lauren Jackson, one of my biggest rivals as an LA fan, at least a Leslie fan. I used to hate going up against LJ, but it was like some classic games. I respected her game. And Swin Cash, one of the only Yukon Huskies I could say that I like. Like Swin Cash doing her thug fizzle. You know, she did it on the floor. Now she's doing it for the Pelicans. Um, she got she was getting buckets and she got rings too. So I wanted to give those three women. They weren't like pioneers. They didn't come into the league in '97, but they were like that first wave of like talent and like that came like okay, we about to uplift the
right.
WNBA. So they really did their thing. They had illustrious careers. They were all it was all like growing up, like I grew up watching the WNBA and the NBA. So it's like I grew up and I was like, hey, Swin Cash, Tamika Catchings, like those Detroit LA games was those were the best back in the day. And yeah, congratulations, ladies.
It's so
Salute
shocking because
everything. Huh?
look, Swin was always the rival of yours. You never ever got to cheer for her unless it was, you
Right.
know,
Oh,
USA basketball. She
never.
was always gonna be a rival. She was a Tennessee. She was a rival when she was at UConn. You a Tennessee fan. Went to Detroit. Went to Seattle. Like she was always a rival. You know what I'm saying?
But I respected her game because remember when she first came in Detroit, they were like last place. Next season, they turned it around, and it was like really her team. Like they rallied around her. They did have some good players. Deanna Nolan, Bill Laimbeer did his thing. I ain't gonna not give him credit, but yeah, Swin Cash was one of the UConn Huskies. I could really say I ain't never cheered for her, but I respect her game now that she retired. I guess I could say that.
I ain't never cheered for him, but it is one UConn player that I will say I felt like she was disrespected in WNBA. Like I always wonder why she was never on anyone's USA basketball roster. I always feel like Nikisha Sales never got what she was supposed to get. They never gave Nikisha Sales what she deserved. Cause
Right.
Cool Keish, I'ma always go back to that 1996 Final Four game with Nikisha Sales and Shamiqua Holtzclaw. Them two was going bucket for bucket.
It was. It,
They, they was going bucket for bucket. But congratulations, ladies, on being inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. And look at you, T Catch, Women's Basketball Hall of Fame and Basketball Hall of Fame in 1 year. I mean, not to keep going on, but I love Tamika Catchings. Like, and I think I've garnered so much respect with Tamika Catchings because she can't, you know, like a ACL injury to some women, to some basketball players, that's career ending. Like that's a wrap.
Especially back then too, when they didn't have all the
All the resources that you know that they have now and all the procedures they have now. So for her to have the ACL injury her senior year of college, still get drafted, come in, and when she came after the injury, win Rookie of the Year, and really and truly put the Indiana Fever franchise on the map, like she deserves her respect. On top of that, being WNBA champion, All Star, and what she was a 3-time Olympian. No, was it 4-time Olympian?
was for and defensive player of the year. She's
She,
one of only like five players. Her and Candace Parker is the only women to win MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP. Like, and then Magic and somebody else. But I think Giannis too. Giannis just got added to the club. But yeah,
and
much
you know,
respect.
and just it speaks volumes to like the level of what Pet Summit could do too, because like I granted Tamika never ever got that second NCAA title like she should have. However, she really did a good job of playing under Shamiqua, from being the hunt to being the hunted to being the hunter to becoming the hunted. People were gunning for her, and she really did do a good job and let the world know like this is who's going to be running women's basketball in college for a good little minute. And I respect her for that. Like I respect and loved her for that, and she pretty much made me even more. She pretty much let me know Tennessee was gonna be good, because you know what I'm saying. Like Tennessee back then, you always they always had those players that when that set of players graduated, you had that next set that was ready to come in and keep it with the momentum or not. And I think we're gonna get back there someday, even though child, not to talk about them, but I'm gonna get down her heads. Girl, what you done built at South Carolina and the squad you got coming in, I'm saying it right now. South Carolina, 2022 national champs.
Look, I ain't going that far, but back up to Mika Catcher. She was one of those players that played like she didn't take no breaks. No, like nowadays you don't get that
Every
out of a
possession,
player. Like every
offense,
possession,
court.
offense, defense, taking charges, diving for the like the best offensive player nowadays don't want to play defense, or if they do, they're not like diving on the floor. So
No.
I love that about Tamika Catches. I miss it. I'm ready to see the next Tamika Catches. That's what I want to see.
Do you have anybody who you think could be the next T Catch?
A Lady Vol
No, just
specifically.
a player in general that kind of gives you that. Now, a Lady Vol wise, I think we're probably on the same page. Well, she ain't a Lady Vol no more, but
What are you talking
Zay was my next go for T Catch because the girl knew how to fill up a stat sheet. That's one thing. That's one thing. Her daddy. That's one thing he put into it. He taught the girl how to fill up a stat sheet. She done went
about?
to A and
Yeah,
M.
she got injured. But if we want to talk about like a current Lady Vol, I'm not gonna put too much on her. But Kaya Williams is one of those players who who's active defensively. She gonna run through a wall for you. So hopefully this freshman season of hers goes as planned because I can see her really getting some minutes and really making a difference on the defense specifically, just translating that into offense.
I'm really excited to see this Lady Vols team though and see the new pieces we have added. So excited about it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to your favorite segment of mine. Three things I'm feeling. You know what? Over the Olympic break, so much has happened or whatnot, and I had so much to kind of tie in and think about it. However, the three things I'm feeling. Number one, these WNBA players really getting these partnerships and getting to the bag. By that, I mean Diddy Richards being the new face of Quest Sports Energy and Protein Bars, and Shanae Ogumake getting a partnership with Hennessy. With the Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy Corporation. Come on, Shanae. Come on, Shanae. Shanae, come on, Shanae. Come on. Like I am feeling that to like the absolute fullest. Like you know me and you about getting the bag.
Right. See me.
So I mean, these rookies are really going out here and getting the bag, and it's just like, and I think I DM'd you her commercial. When I saw the commercial and how she did, I'm like, she's so relatable. Like I can, like it was just so natural for her doing. I'm like, I can see that. But I always said I do feel like Didi, outside of basketball, is a beauty brand, and I really do like that her, Dana, Kaiser, and Taya, and a few other ones, Michaela also, they're really trying to capitalize on being a beauty brand outside of basketball. They're really just showing they're really just showing that they're multifaceted, and I love that a lot. I really do love that a lot about them. So that was the first and well, really first second thing I'm feeling. I can go ahead and say the third thing I'm feeling. It has to do with a basketball game. Now LA and New York was going, and they was going at it. One percent. Well, really, well, I I say at three points. I don't say this. I say that's the one possession. If you got a shooter that can hit it three, that's the one possession game. So here we go. One possession game. New York give Sabrina the ball. Sabrina hustling down court. She probably thinks she included takeoff. Brittany Sykes came out of nowhere and was like, no, 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 no. No. Honestly, now I was shocked because I thought they was gonna call a foul. I thought they were gonna call a foul. But when they let that go, I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what's going on with LA, but these little last minute little beats, little plays, little that they've been doing, I'm with it. You got Brittany getting the block, and you got Necka at the buzzer playing through the clock, like muscling up, like I'm loving it in LA. But the last thing I'm feeling, cause it's normally three, but it's gonna be four. Now I'm gonna say this: in our generation, I don't think we could have did it because we would have been ready to fight. Now I don't know if this generation, if they just cool with each other and it's okay with it, but this you stand alone challenge, have you seen it?
You know, out the crates.
Huh?
What the crates?
Yeah, the you stand alone challenge. Yeah, when they showing like the players are like I've scored a lot of baskets, but this was the main basket. They would show like their highlight moment against whoever they hit it against.
I ain't seen that.
It's like pretty much like a call out. Now let me tell you this. I'm gonna have to send it to you so you can have to see because I don't think if anybody dared to do that to me back in. Let me tell you something. It's gonna be
Who did you
this right here, huh?
see? Who did you see that made you feel like, oh,
I mean, it's just been like every like Ryan Howard did one. Um, Danetta, what's her name? Last name, I think it was Danetta Lewis from Ole Miss. She did one where she crossed Dreonna Edwards. Like, I don't cross a lot of people, but
yeah,
this cross, but you stand alone because this one was the one you got with. I don't know if that would have flew back in out with that because it's just like it's just do you want to fight? Like do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? I'm gonna
I
have to
did
send you. I'm gonna have to send you one so you can see it.
please.
Cause I don't think that would have flew back in our day. I mean, it's putting tension on the court, and that's what I want to see. It's putting tension on the court.
But that's one thing I like about social media. These players got kind of have a platform. Before NIL, it was social media.
Right.
So, look, I'm all here for it. Talk your trash, but back it up when the season comes. Because look, the season right around the corner. So it's it just makes for a better narrative, and I hope that the media outlets, ESPN, they cover the season, better because WNBA they could do a better job. I'm not complaining, but we can get some better storylines and some better interviews.
But that kind of leads me into this though too, and we can move on after this. I'm hating. I really am hating how before the Olympics, everybody was Team Sha'Carri. They loved her. They were uplifting her. They were cheering for her. Everybody was upset when she got suspended because of weed and this and that. Everybody was calling her the next Flojo. They was behind her. Okay, she Olympics happened. Girl ain't had a competitive race since then. She was suspended. She does a little video saying I took a break, but now it's game time, bitches or whatnot. However, she goes to the Prefontaine Classic and finishes last place. Okay, it's a bad race. It was a bad race. One that she really could not really prepare for like that. I don't think my whole thing is I'm hating that people are making it seem like this race right here was the end all be all and the end of her. And I really hate that just how fast people have turned on her. She had a bad race. There have been so many times when my favorite teams and my favorite players have had a bad game. Know what I'm saying? But they have bounced back from it. I really hate that she's going through with it. Case in point, let's put it like this. Evelyn Ashford, one of the best sprinters of all time, one of the best American sprinters of all time, gold medalist, all this and that. Her very first Olympics in 1976, I think she only finished like in fifth or sixth.
I
Came
just
back, won a gold medal.
I just
It's
think with her, we haven't seen a woman like her who I mean in track and field at least because in track and field they have a commercial you see them
right.
every 2 years, but it hasn't been someone like Sha'Carri who's vocal about everything. She's an open book. She got the tattoo, so that scares the other people. She got the colorful hair and the nails, and she talk her talk. But I just feel like if you look, I was disappointed. I ain't gonna lie. I was rooting for Sha'Carri.
I was
I
disappointed
was
too.
like, what? It is, she get out slow, but I feel like she didn't. She was just jogging to me. But
I can
look,
honestly,
look, we love a good comeback story.
we do
Next
the comeback story.
next year's the championship, so I expect her to be back. I'm sure she's looking at these Twitter trolls that she gonna use as motivation. I know. Look, if you need some trees, Sha'Carri, come to me. But in all seriousness, I expect her to be back, and I can't wait for the championship, and we gonna be there because those Jamaicans, they don't like, they're not feeling Sha'Carri.
They
So,
not feel honestly. They never really feel any of us, but
oh no, they
I'm a,
never really know.
I know what I'm gonna get on them off camera. I'm gonna get on them. I'm gonna get up on them off
I
camera.
don't nobody coming after.
I'm gonna get on them off camera. I had a message come through. I'm gonna get on them on camera. However, I'm gonna say this. I hate it with this because I'm gonna say this. I don't see nothing wrong. A lot of people say she used to have humility or whatever, and they feel like the video was cocky. How many times do we see boxers go out and talk stuff, doing press conferences and that, or we see the males have this bravado and cockiness about them, and then we sit up here and say we want the women and the female athletes to be more arrogant, more cocky, have more, of this air and this umph about them when it comes to their craft and their sport. However, when they have a bad outing or they don't live up to what you thought they should have lived up to, you want to go ahead and dog them. Why do they want? And I feel like this with black women. Y'all want us to love yourselves, but then when something happens, y'all make us want to hate y'all want us to hate ourselves. Y'all want us to uplift ourselves, but then y'all want us to pull ourselves back. What's the medium? Because on top of this, and that's why I said this a long time ago when a lot of people were chiming in with Sha'Carri. A lot of people that are this girl's fans are not really sports fan and track and field fans. They just like her. And I knew that her true fan base, her true supporters were gonna stick. But the minute something that was gonna happen and she did not rise to the occasion, they were not going to like anyway. Y'all, when I get on something, I go on and on and on about something. So let's go ahead and say this. Let's go ahead and get into the WNBA because I done talked about Sha'Carri and about track and field. So let's go ahead and get into the WNBA. So Darren, what were those games that you watched and had you like, okay, what's up?
Look, Seattle Storm, they might not be in first place right now, but I think this team is for real. Like, even when Jewel Lloyd, she been on a hot streak when she came back from the Olympics, but
Mm-hmm.
even when she had an off night against Washington, their big stepped up. Mercedes Russell and Ezzy Magbegor, both of those two are gonna be real key for Seattle if they're gonna make another run because Ezzy can run the floor like no other forward in the league. Like the girl can run the floor when she wants to. And Mercedes is just fundamentally sound. Like she could post you up, she could shoot, and she's really confident now. I like her playing alongside Brianna Stewart. They look really good against Washington, man. It was Elena Deladon's first game, and I was excited to see her back. You know, she looked a little stiff, a little scared to post up, but she
She
still
had
had
15 points though, didn't she?
she still had her 16 points. You know, she's gonna always get the buckets. Tina Charles had a dub, but I just feel like, and I'm okay with Washington losing because my Sparks are in eighth place right now. But I feel like Washington they could play so much better. Like Tebow started, he went big. He had Elena Deladon, he had Tina Charles, and he started what's her name? What's little Montrez Harrell? What's her name?
Maisha Hart Allen.
Allen. Yeah, they remind me like they play alike to me. So
They
he
really
started off,
do.
and I was kind of surprised. I think he might switch it up. So I thought he would start Sydney Weiss just so they can have a shooter. And I know that Maisha can hit the three. I know Tina and EDD can hit the three, but it just seemed like they spacing was off. It was just too many bigs in the way, and they're not like beat you off the dribble big. So it was like kind of cluttered. But that was one of the games that I really enjoyed. Connecticut looks real for real too. Like Jonquel Jones and Dewana Bonner, they found out how to work together inside and out. And I mean, of course, Las Vegas is up there, but I don't want to be a homer. I'm just happy to see my Sparks on a 4 game winning streak. I didn't look. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, Derek Fisher will have a 4 game winning streak, I would have been like,
There's Lamar
man, like what?
Fisher.
Derek Lamar. But I really think it's because of the defense. LA, their defense been looking really good. They've been causing a lot of turnovers. Of course, having Eka back and Shanae back is really a boost for LA. Christy Tolliver has been running the point, allowing E. Willer to get some shots off the ball. They just looking really good defensively. Now, if they could just have a 40-minute game where they play like together and like they always have these lapses, third quarter, second quarter, and they just be
Yeah.
like scaring me. Like keep your lead, keep your 15-point lead. But I'm happy to see my team on the winning streak, and I'm happy to look. I'm happy to see these games coming up because Tuesday we got Seattle versus Minnesota. We got Las Vegas versus Connecticut. That's the game I want to see. Las Vegas versus Connecticut. It has a chance to be a finals preview, but I want to see both teams really play up to their potential because I feel like Liz still hasn't cracked the ceiling. I don't know if she's still comfortable with Asia. You know, she's doing good. They doing good, but I want to see that matchup with Liz Cambage and John Paul Jones.
So you don't have Susan B. Anthony and the Seattle Storm making a repeat.
No, Seattle. Look, Seattle's right there. Those three, any of those three could be in there. The way Jewel Lloyd is playing, like I could definitely see Seattle in the finals. But we gonna need they're gonna really need Mercedes Russell and Ezzy to really show up because that's like of course Stewie gonna get her points.
Right.
Jewel Lloyd can have an off night, but she's gonna get hers, and Sue's gonna get her assists. But those two are really key if Seattle's gonna make a playoff run.
Do you think Sue is done after this season? Like she's retiring, or do you think she got like a couple more in her? Cause she's like what 40?
Look, I ain't counting nobody else now, but I think she still got a year or two. Yeah, because she's been playing most of the games. She's been healthy this year. Surprisingly to me, she's been looking all right out there, and I like the way that they managing her minutes. Shout out to Noelle Quinn. She doing her thug this on Seattle. I just look. I ain't never rooted for Seattle, but if Noelle Quinn is the head coach, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind because
Has any
Seattle got that.
WNBA player played close to 50, like in age, or
Remember Nancy Lieberman? She came out that one time.
she came back? But like, is any like Nick Kareem played till he was what, like 52, I think.
Don't give me the line. I don't know. Cynthia Cooper was up there when the league first started.
So I wonder, like, is Sue gonna try to?
Oh, remember Marley's ass camp was in it? Was she like 41, 42?
Marley's ass camp. I forgot about ass camp. Oh my god. I forgot about her. She was on that 2001, 2002 squad.
Mhm.
I remember ass camp. Yes, I think she was up. I mean, all the, but you know, really true. I'm not gonna say that. Next, okay. You know what, Ref? That was a really good breakdown and analysis of all the games. You know, I really agree with you. You know, with EDD coming back, Jonquel and Dewana finally meshing together, Seattle bouncing back and on it, LA with their 4-game winning streak. I really like that. But with all that going on, with all that, who did you pick as your player of the week?
My player of the week, the WNBA picked Brittany Griner and Jonquel Jones. Brittany had a double double this past week, or average double double. Jonquel, she's looking like a baby KD out there, but I'm just gonna have to go with the gold mama herself, Jewel Lloyd, because look, baby been on fire. She averaged 24 points, and I'm not including the Commissioner Cups game. But the last three games, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.6 steals. She's shooting 45% from the field and 46% from the three. Like she's really out here channeling her inner Mamba. And I like it. Her jumper's been looking so good. That 3-pointer ain't never looked
She has
better.
a shot. Like,
Took it to the hole. Like she's crafty with it. Like even though she didn't have a good game against Washington, it was one play where she got to the basket and used her body, and the player had to foul her, and she got the N1. So I love watching her play. And if she gonna continue to average 24 points, she might sneak into the MVP conversation.
I agree with it. I love Jewel Lloyd. Like I said, the elevation. I've been a Jewel Lloyd fan since she's at Notre Dame, and I always just said the elevation on her shot, but also the form and accuracy of her. It just, it's like it's better than textbook. It's like how do you learn that? Like who broke that down and got the mechanics of that so right for her? Like that's God given. Like how you have like accurate mechanics of a shot like that. You know what? I love it. Oh well, now I love it. I love it. I love it. However, that brings us to my favorite part. You know, I think it's like Darren 5 and Catchy 2 in this or whatnot. We're to my favorite segment, start bench cut. Okay, like I said, this is the segment. It's one of my favorite segments. This is also the segment where Darren just likes to personally piss me off sometimes because he know he does some effed up stuff when it comes to this segment. So since we're back, I'm gonna say this. I feel like I want to say it's comical because I feel like it's gonna make you laugh when I say this because you're gonna be like, really, that's what you put together. But it's players that we just was like, really, it's those players. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so you have to start bench or cut. You have these three people. We'll start bench cut. You ready? Start bench cut. Jamila Weidman, Sydney Weiss, and Laura Maki. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? Who are you cutting?
I was pretending like I was froze.
I was like, what happened? I got scared.
And I was like, okay, I'll look. You just pull some names, huh? Look, I'm gonna start Sydney Weiss because I like the shooter. I like a shooter. Laura Maki gonna be on my bench because she had one good season in LA. And then Jamila, I love you. Thank you for being original spark, but I'm gonna have to cut you, sis. I was I used to love Laura Maki. She had that one good season, and then I don't know what happened.
Okay, so I got a second one. Here's my second one. You ready? These are also players, two of them former Sparks that we just love. Well, all of them are former Sparks. Are you ready? Okay, so you have to start bench cut.
Now I'm gonna be thinking like, which one don't we love? No,
Jessica Moore, Christy Thomas, and Lakeisha Fred. Who we started?
I see what you did there. I see what you did. Jeez. I want to start Lakeisha Pratt.
Okay.
I'm gonna bench Christy Thomas. And bye, Jessica. Thank you for your service during the cold years. Hard times. You don't even know how hard it was.
I don't. Especially when we had got Taj and William was breaking. I'm like, oh my god.
I was trying to give it her all. Like grandmama she was trying, but then I felt bad because we got Candace. We was like, thank you, Taj. Thanks for your service.
But you know what? But also, they were actually okay. Because I remember like when that season started, and this kind of made me mad too because Latoya Thomas could never stay healthy. She was always messing up her dang ACL. Because I remember we had Shamiqua running point. They had Latoya playing Latoya playing the 3-4, and Taj, was running, was running the low post for us or whatever. And they were actually solid with Shamiqua running point. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like once Shamika was just like, I'm checked out, I'm done, it just went downhill from that. And I would just never had thought I would see the day when LA was like literally the worst team in the league. Like,
it was the dog days. Thank you, Candace. We miss you.
especially after what was it, 2006? We were just in the Western Conference Finals. Don't even get me started on 2007, 2000. Yeah. So, thank you. It worked out because I knew when Candace said she was going to Jefferson, the Sparks were about to get Candace. It's a wrap. It's it. It took us a while to get a title with her, but we still got it. But yeah, that was mine. So do you got one? You got another?
I got one more. I don't know if I use these people before. I hope not. But my Olympic force, I should have took your girl out, but Katrina McClain, Yolanda Griffith, and I'm gonna take her out. I'm gonna put and the McGee twins. They're a package deal.
That's
So
Katrina
you
McClain,
signing
Wanda
you
Griffith,
signing them
and
for college. You signing them for college at UCLA. You're gonna have to you signing one. One got a partial scholarship, and then the other two, or the last one, you just like sorry.
well, word on the street is that Paula would have gotten UCLA over because Paula was the more studious one. Pam just like to party and play around.
Look, now we talk about Gazelle Mama.
So I would have got Paula anyway because Paula would have academically qualified for a full ride academic scholarship.
You know what? Allegedly.
However, if I gotta choose between Katrina, Yolanda, and the McGee twins, I'ma just say this. I'm gonna start Katrina because at the end of the day, Katrina had an award named after her before all of them. And Katrina, listen, this is the Katrina McClain we talking about. This is the Katrina McClain we talking about. Because let me tell you something. The early days, not even say the early days, but that 80s, early 90s genre of post were really the ones that were making the men step their game up because Katrina McClain and Jennifer Gillum had some of the best post moves and awesome offensive skill sets for bigs. They were just so smooth. So I'm starting Katrina. Off
Okay,
rip.
I'm gonna
Even,
take the twins out and put Tina Thompson. So start bench cut. There you go. Start bench cut.
oh, then it's gonna be Star Katrina, Bench Tina, Cut Yolanda.
Okay,
I am Cut Yolanda. Let me tell you something. I am not. I was not a Tina Thompson fan, child, because I with that
Ooh,
ponytail and that lipstick and that lip liner. But Tina used to work it. However, if I am talking about multifaceted athleticism and versatility, I'm gonna go with Tina Thompson. Because if I want to play small ball and put Tina at the five with some really athletic players, I'm gonna get a better look. I'm gonna get what I want. Yolanda was a really good post. Her skill set, however, was not as I mean, and it's kind of you had Tina who went to college as a 6'2", as a 6'2" 5", but went into the league and became a 3'4" and really just grew her game. You know what I'm saying?
so who would
So
start bench cut then if I threw in Natalie Williams instead of Yolanda Griffith?
I'm cutting Tina. I'm cutting Tina. I'm not. Let me tell you something.
I do never cut a Natalie. It's just I
I
had her. You
never
know, like
because it's Natalie Williams. If you're watching this, baby, I love you. Okay, I've never cut a Natalie Williams. Natalie Williams is one of
the only way I can make the best way to make her mad is to say something about Natalie Williams. I used to do that.
because Natalie Williams was one of the who else was a first team All American in volleyball and basketball. Only her. On top of that, she was the MVP of the ABL. Came to the WNBA. Wreck shot was Olympic gold medalist. Like, give her props.
She was good, Natalie. We give you your flower. I
And
guess she because I ain't giving you your flowers yet.
no, because you always. It ain't even that because
Gonna make you mad because I low key. I used to like Natalie low key because she had that left hand. I like a lefty, but I never got to cheer for her because she was on except for the Olympics.
I mean, it's Natalie Williams. Like, have you not seen her volleyball games? Like,
She's a legend. She's a legend.
I wonder if Tennessee would have had an up to par volleyball team, would she have came to Tennessee and what Pat would have done with her?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I also wonder if Morningside would have never took that damn trip to Shelbyville.
Right, we got Lisa Leslie, man.
I wish I could
Well,
go back in time and the coach is like, "Hey girls, we're gonna go to Shelbyville, Tennessee." I'm like, "No, you're not. No."
keep, keep them here in LA.
Child, Lisa said at that moment she knew it was a wrap. I think she cut all schools in the South after that.
She said, "I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna stay where I'm known."
So y'all, we are pretty much hit the end of our show. Thank y'all so much for tuning into episode 7 of Beauty and the Rev. Happy birthday, Kobe. We truly enjoyed y'all tuning in. We love y'all so much. Stay tuned for episode 8. I love that shirt though. I love that shirt.
Like, thank
Hey, while we at it, God is dope. Y'all can make shirts bigger than 2X. Y'all know that, right?
you. Yeah, y'all need me as a brand ambassador. I got like a million. Shoot.
Right, and y'all can use me as a plus size brand ambassador because there's some 3-4X people up out here. Just saying.
Tag them, because I
I'm
got.
gonna gladly tag God is dope because I like y'all shirts, but however, there is nothing for me to wear. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
They gonna hear us.
They gonna get it. But as always, y'all, if this is your first time watching us, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Go ahead and once again, like, click, and subscribe. But if you're a returning user, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us. And as we always say, bro, what do we say?
No excuses.
And beauty is an attitude. Good night, y'all.
All right, y'all be safe out there. Happy birthday, Kobe.
Happy birthday, Kobe. We love you. Mamba.